Hello all, welcome to this session. In this session, I am going to answer one of the Java interview questions. That is, how to initiate a thread in Java. Let me answer this question followed by practical demonstration. First of all, what exactly is a thread? In Java programming, we can run multiple threads simultaneously, and that concept is called as multi-threading. Okay. So when you develop some applications which are multi-threaded applications, that applications are tend to perform multiple activities at the same time because the Java code or whatever the code that is written for developing the application has multi-threaded concepts implemented where multiple threads were implemented in that particular logic. So in Java also, we can initiate multiple threads, but here the question is not about multi-threading. Here the question is about how to initiate a thread apart from the default thread. Whenever you write a Java program, simple Java programming, having a class, having a main method and some logic inside the main method, right? Such simple program when you run, by default, one thread will be there. Okay. Java will allocate one thread to run the program. But what if that particular program has to do simultaneously multiple activities at the same time or concurrently? In that case, we have to alter our Java program by mentioning to instantiate or to initiate multiple threads. Apart from the default thread or main thread we have, we also will have additional threads which can run parallelly to perform multitasking activities. Okay. At the same time, the program will perform multitasking activities. Okay. So, but coming to the core question here, it's not about the question is not about multi-threading or what exactly is and all. It's like practically we have to explain to the interviewer like what how to initiate a thread in Java programs. Is there any single way? No, guys. There are multiple ways to initiate a thread in Java, guys. I have found three ways. Okay, I have found myself found three ways. What are these three ways? First one is by extending the thread class, we can initiate a thread. Another way is by implementing an interface known as runnable interface. Also, we can initiate a thread. Third way is by using the Lambda expressions from Java 8 onwards. Lambda expressions got introduced. By using the Lambda expressions, also we can initiate a thread. So I'm going to practically demonstrate one by one of these examples or ways for you in a practical way. Further, I'll switch to Eclipse IDE, and here under the multi-threading package, which is already created as part of the previous answers of the interview questions, I'm going to create a new class. I'm just going to name this as sample one, I'll say, guys. Okay, just give some random names like sample one, sample two. Inside the sample one, I'm going to create a main method or some other method or whatever it is. Okay, so I'll create one method, guys. Okay, I'll do one thing. This is sample one, right? This is sample one. Here, I'm going to create some class. Okay, let's see. What is the first one? Extending the thread class. So here I'm going to create a class, guys. Okay. Apart from this will have a main method and all. Okay. Main control space use. The shortcut for creating the main method, if you have forgot while creating an Eclipse IDE, is main control space you type and select this. You'll get this main method here. I'll just increase the font a bit so that you can see. Fine. Here we are going to run the programs. Okay. We are going to, this particular main method is going to run the code. But here I'm going to create one more class my thread. Just give some name, random name, whatever the name you want, right? My thread, my this, my that. You can give that, okay? You can give our thread, my thread, your thread, whatever the name you want to give for the class, you can give. I'll simply make this particular class extends a predefined class known as thread class, okay? Thread is a predefined class from java.lang package, and this is a user-defined class which is extending the thread class. And this particular thread class has a method known as run method. If you go to the to hover the mouse on this thread and press and hold the control key and say open declaration, right? Somewhere here, control shift O if I say, okay, control O, sorry, control O if I say, I'll get this, and here type run, and you can see there is a run method. Thread class has a predefined method known as run method. Okay, this is the implementation of the run method in the predefined thread class, but we are not going to use the same run method here. Okay, though this particular class is a child class of the thread class, we are not going to use the run method. Instead, we are going to override the run method. That is to override public void run. Okay, the same with the same method name. I'm going to override it from the thread class. Okay, in the my thread class, I'm overriding the method of the run method in the thread class here. Okay, in this, I just write down system.out.println, system.out.println, thread is running. Just write some sample statement saying thread is running, guys. Thread is running. Okay, like this I'll write. Now, in this main method, after writing this code in this main method, what is the code that I have to write to initiate the thread? In order to initiate the thread, using the first method by extending the thread class, what is the logic I have to write inside the main method? I need to first create an object for the my thread, like this. My thread, thread1 or t1 is equal to new my thread, whatever the name you want to give for the object reference, you can give my thread. Like this, I'll create an object for the thread1 and simply say thread1 dot start. One dot start. This is how we have to initiate a thread using the first method, where you will create a class which is going to extend thread class, and here we have to override the run method of the thread class in this my thread class, child class. And then in order to initiate a thread, you have to use a start method. Okay, you have to first create an object for this my thread, which is extending the thread class, and using the object reference, we have to call the start method. So run this code and see that this particular thread is running will be printed in the output. Okay, there is a problem here. Okay, what is the problem? Before running, let's hover the mouse and see. Already defined somewhere. Okay, maybe it's part of the, otherwise I'll do one thing. My thread one, I'll say, okay, it will not be there here. My thread one, like this. Now you'll not get any. Okay, still I'm getting the problem. Save this. Already defined. It's gone now. Error is gone because it's already created as per the previous class. So now it will run. Thread is running. Okay, thread is running. Like this, guys. I was able to initiate a thread here. This is the first way, guys. This is the first way. The code for this is already provided here in the notes. You can take it from here. You can take a screenshot of this code and try it by yourself. The second way is by implementing the runnable interface, guys. Okay, the second way of implementing the initiating a thread is by implementing the runnable interface. Okay, how to do that? Okay. Okay, we have to implement a runnable interface for that. Okay, so for that, I'll just create one more class. Right click here, select new class. Second way I'm going to demonstrate, guys, sample2, I'll say with main method I'll create. After that, I'll create a class here. Okay, this comment I'll remove, and here I'll create a class. Here also same thing, guys, class my runnable. Okay, runnable, like this, you give some name. Okay, our runnable. Okay, our runnable or that runnable, this runnable, whatever you want. But this time, this class is going to implements which interface? Runnable interface. Okay, runnable interface. Over the mouse on this, it's asking you to add unimplemented methods of the runnable in, because the interface doesn't have the will have the abstract methods by default, right? That methods have to be implemented here. Add an implement, which is going to be the run method only. So here inside the run method, I'm going to write down system.out.println thread is running. Thread is running. Okay. Once you initiate whether the thread is running or not, how can we prove that with the program? If this particular print statement is printed, means the thread is running. But here, in order to run this particular thread and all those stuff, right? What we have to do here is my runnable. You have to create an object for the, okay, like this. We have to create an object like this, my runnable. Okay, like this, you create an object for the my runnable class. After that, you create an object for the thread class. Thread t1 is equal to new thread. Like this, you create an object for the thread class, which is a predefined class. And to this, you pass the object reference of the my runnable and simply say t1 dot start. So this is another way of initiating the thread. Okay, using the runnable interface, we can initiate the thread like this. Run this code and see if thread is running is printed, means it's working fine. So you can take the screenshot of this code, and also I have provided this code here also, guys. Okay, either you can take the screenshot of this code to practice this. The second way, sample2 way. Hope you have taken the screenshot. Even sample one also, you can take the screenshot. This is a sample one previous example where we are extending the thread class and doing this somewhat different. So multiple ways are there to initiate a thread. This first way, hope you have taken the screenshot of the sample one also here. Sample two also you have taken the screenshot. Now I'm going to go with the third way, that is by using the Lambda expressions. This way is only possible with the Java versions from starting from 8 and all, 8 and above. But nowadays everyone is using more minimum version as 8 only. So, it's okay to go with the Lambda expressions because that will not take so much of space. Okay, it's very easy to, with Lambda expressions, it's going to, you don't have to create a separate class and all those stuff, okay, that you have done with the sample one and sample two. Here I'm going to create a class. I'm just going to name this class as sample 3, which is a third way of initiating a thread. In this third way, guys, inside the main method itself, you have to create an object for the thread class, guys. Okay, thread t1 is equal to new thread. This is like this you have to write. Now, here inside the constructor of the thread, you provide the Lambda expression. What is the Lambda expression means? It's a nameless function. it will be a nameless function. Like inside this constructor calling statement, you have to provide the circular brackets because this particular function doesn't have any name and it doesn't have any parameters. Inside the function, there is no parameter. In that case, you have to, it's mandatory to provide the circular bracket. It's a nameless function, guys. Okay. This particular function that I have written here, for example, main is a function. Okay. This has a parameter and it has a name, right? But here there is a nameless function. It doesn't have a name. It doesn't have any parameters. In that case, we have to provide the circular brackets. If it has at least name, it cannot have name. Lambda expression doesn't have any name because they are nameless functions automatically. But if it at least has a parameter, right? This circular, in place of the circular brackets, we can, it's optional to provide circular brackets. Either with circular brackets, we can provide the parameters, or without circular brackets, we can provide the parameters. Okay. But when there are no parameters in the lambda expression or nameless function, we have to keep this empty circular brackets. And after that, you have to put this kind of symbol, guys. Okay. Arrow symbol. Okay. This kind of arrow, hyphen and greater than symbol. When you combine it, will become an arrow symbol. And this is starting of the function. This is the ending of the function. This is starting of the function. This is the ending. Why the error is coming here? You see, lambda expressions are allowed only at the source level 1.8 or above. Here 1.7 is there. I'll change the source level. I'll go to the properties here. Here I'll change it to, from 1.8 onwards, it's okay, guys. Okay. You see, error is gone. If I change the Java JRE system library to 1.8, it's gone. Okay. So inside this, you see, like a function has a function body, right? Starting of the function, ending of the function. In between that, you will write the code like this. Thread execution, thread getting executed. Okay. Thread getting executed. Like this, guys. Nothing you have to do. Okay. And run this code, right? Click run as, let's run this code and see what is happening. Is it running? No. Why? Because we have to start the thread, right? As usual, we have to say t1.start or thread1.start. You don't use the start method, this particular lambda expression function in the thread constructor will not be executed. So now you see thread getting executed. Okay. Thread is running. Thread is running. Here also thread is running. Here also you can put thread is running. That's okay. I forgot that, but okay. Any statement, thread is running. Run this code, right click run as Java application. You see thread is running will be printed. So these are the multiple ways of initiating a thread in Java programs, guys. Okay, these are 3 ways. You can also take the screenshot of this sample 3 also. Okay. So this is the simplest way out of all the 3 ways. This is using lambda expressions in simplest way, but to understand the concepts and all. And as part of the answering the question in the interviews, better to explain all the 3 ways, guys. Okay. So hope you have taken the screenshot of all this code and also providing this code in the notes. Okay, for your reference. Okay, fine. So these are the multiple ways of taking, initiating a thread in Java. With the theoretical explanation and practical demonstration, I have successfully answered this question for you. So hope guys you got the answer for this question. So that's all for this session. Thank you. Bye-bye.